Captain Elena Rodriguez squinted at the main view screen of the ESS Curiosity, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. What had initially appeared as a cluster of unusual stars was rapidly resolving into something far more extraordinary. "My God," she breathed. "Are those ships?" Her first officer, Commander Yuki Tanaka, leaned forward in his chair. "Affirmative, Captain. I'm counting. Over 1,000 vessels. Various configurations, but definitely artificial." Elena's mind raced. Humanity had been venturing beyond their solar system for nearly 2 centuries, but they had yet to encounter any sign of intelligent alien life. Until now. "Yellow alert," she ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Shields up, but weapons offline. Let's not appear hostile." As the Curiosity drew closer, the sheer scale of the alien fleet became apparent. The smallest ships dwarfed their vessel, while the largest were closer in size to small moons. Their designs were sleek and organic, a far cry from the utilitarian aesthetics of Earth's ships. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It seems to be in English." Elena raised an eyebrow. On screen. The view screen flickered, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes. When it spoke, its lips moved in perfect sync with the words, "Greetings, explorers of Earth. I am Admiral Zorax of the Galactic Empire. We've been expecting you." A stunned silence fell over the bridge. Elena cleared her throat. "I'm Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth spaceship Curiosity. Forgive me, but did you say you were expecting us?" Admiral Zorax's lips curved into what might have been a smile. "Indeed. We've been monitoring your species' progress for some time. Your first faster-than-light journey caught our attention. We've been waiting for you to venture far enough from your home system to make contact." Elena's mind whirled with questions. Why wait? Why not contact us sooner? "It is our policy not to interfere with developing civilizations," Zorax explained. "We wanted to ensure you were ready for the responsibilities and challenges that come with joining the galactic community." "Joining?" Elena echoed. "Are you inviting us?" Zorax nodded. "The Galactic Empire spans millions of worlds and thousands of species. We believe humanity has much to offer. Your adaptability, creativity, and determination have impressed us. We would be honored to have you join our ranks." Elena exchanged glances with her crew. This was far beyond their mission parameters. "Admiral, while we're deeply honored, I don't have the authority to make such a monumental decision on behalf of my entire species." "Of course," Zorax agreed. "We anticipated as much. That is why we're extending an invitation for your ship to accompany us to Centauri Station. There, you can open a secure channel to your world leaders and discuss our proposal in detail." After a brief consultation with her officers, Elena agreed. As the Curiosity fell into formation with the massive fleet, she couldn't help but marvel at the sudden expansion of humanity's horizons. The journey to Centauri Station took mere hours, a testament to the Empire's advanced propulsion technology. As they approached, Elena and her crew gasped in awe. The station was a massive structure, a gleaming wheel of metal and light that put every human space station to shame. Once docked, Elena and a small delegation were escorted to a grand meeting hall. Alien diplomats of various species milled about, their curious gazes following the humans. Admiral Zorax greeted them warmly. "Welcome to Centauri Station. We've prepared a secure communication chamber for you to contact your leaders." The next several hours were a blur of activity. Elena found herself explaining the situation to increasingly high-ranking Earth officials, culminating in a direct conversation with the United Earth President herself. After what felt like endless deliberations, a decision was reached. Humanity would accept the Empire's invitation, albeit cautiously. A formal delegation would be assembled to negotiate the terms of Earth's membership. As Elena relayed this to Admiral Zorax, She could sense the excitement rippling through the alien diplomats in the room. "A wise decision," Zorak said. "We look forward to working closely with your species. But tell me, Captain Rodriguez, how do you and your crew feel about this development?" Elena took a moment to consider. "Honestly, Admiral, we're overwhelmed, excited, and a little terrified. This is beyond anything we ever imagined when we set out to explore the stars." Zorak's eyes crinkled in what Elena was beginning to recognize as amusement. "That's quite understandable. But I assure you, your species has a bright future ahead in the Empire. Your unique perspectives and abilities will be invaluable." As if on cue, a commotion broke out near one of the station's large viewing windows. Elena turned to see her chief engineer, Dr. Amit Patel, engrossed in an animated discussion with a group of alien technicians. His hands were flying as he sketched diagrams in the air, which a nearby computer terminal translated into holographic models. "Fascinating," she heard him say. "So you use quantum entanglement for faster-than-light communication. We've only theorized about that. But have you considered using tachyonic particles to enhance the signal strength?" The alien technicians looked at each other, their expressions a mix of surprise and intrigue. One of them immediately began inputting calculations based on Amit's suggestion. Zorax chuckled. "You see, already your people bring fresh ideas. This is why we value diversity in the Empire. Each species brings its own unique approach to problems." As the day wore on, Elena watched with pride as her crew integrated with the station's personnel. Yuki was deep in discussion with alien tacticians, comparing combat maneuvers. The ship's doctor, Maria Gonzalez, was excitedly examining alien medical technology with her counterparts. Even the Curiosity itself was a source of interest. A team of Imperial engineers had been granted permission to examine the ship, and they were impressed by several of its systems. "Your plasma manifold design is quite innovative," one engineer commented. "We might be able to adapt it to improve efficiency in our smaller vessels." As the initial excitement began to settle, Elena found a quiet moment to stand by one of the station's sweeping windows. The view of open space, dotted with the running lights of thousands of Imperial ships, was breathtaking. Admiral Zorax approached, standing silently beside her for a moment before speaking. "It's quite a sight, isn't it?" Elena nodded. "It's incredible. I can't help but think of how this will change everything for humanity. Our understanding of the universe, our place in it. Nothing will ever be the same." "Change can be frightening," Zorax acknowledged. "But it also brings opportunity. Your people will face challenges as they integrate into the Empire, but I have no doubt you will rise to meet them." "What happens next?" Elena asked. "Once your formal delegation arrives, we'll begin the process of integrating Earth into the Empire. It will take time, of course. There's much for your people to learn, and for us to learn from you, but the journey has begun." As Elena looked out at the stars, she felt a profound sense of destiny. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and she had been privileged to be at the forefront. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that the spirit of exploration and adaptability that had brought them to this point would serve them well in the Galactic Empire. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned. The Academy. 5 years after first contact, the gleaming spires of the Imperial Starfleet Academy loomed before Cadet Zara Chen. The sprawling campus on the planet Luminara was a far cry from the cornfields of Iowa where she'd grown up. As she stepped off the transport shuttle, the gravity felt slightly off, a constant reminder that she was light years from home. Zara took a deep breath of the sweetly scented air, trying to calm her nerves. She was part of the third class of human cadets to attend the academy, carrying the hopes and dreams of Earth on her shoulders. The competitive selection process had been grueling, but that was nothing compared to the challenges that lay ahead. "Overwhelming, isn't it?" a voice said beside her. Zara turned to see a tall, willowy being with pale green skin and elongated fingers. "I'm Phila, from Andromeda IX. You must be one of the humans." Zara nodded, extending her hand before remembering that not all species appreciated physical contact. Zara Chen, from Earth. Nice to meet you. Thala's large eyes blinked rapidly, a gesture Zara would later learn indicated curiosity. Fascinating. I've heard so much about your species. Is it true that you only have one heart? How do you manage? Before Zara could respond, a booming voice echoed across the arrival plaza. Attention, new cadets. Report to the Grand Hall for orientation immediately. The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Zara found herself in a sea of alien faces, each more exotic than the last. The orientation speech, delivered by a holographic projection of Admiral Zorax himself, emphasized the Empire's commitment to unity through diversity. Each of you brings unique strengths to the Academy, Zorax's image proclaimed. Your challenge is not just to learn, but to teach. Share your perspectives, challenge assumptions, and forge the bonds that will keep our empire strong. As the cadets were assigned to their living quarters, Zara found herself rooming with Thala and a squat reptilian being named Crix. The room itself was a marvel of adaptive technology, its environment shifting subtly to accommodate the needs of each species. So, Crix rumbled, his scales shifting colors as he spoke. What made you humans decide to join the Empire? Some of the other cadets are taking bets on how long you'll last. Zara felt a flash of indignation. We're tougher than we look. Humanity has overcome plenty of challenges. We'll do fine here. Thala placed a calming hand on Zora's shoulder. I'm sure you will. Ignore Crix. He's just trying to get a rise out of you. It's a defense mechanism for his species. As the days turned into weeks, Zara began to understand the true magnitude of the challenge before her. The academic coursework was rigorous, covering everything from advanced xenobiology to 11-dimensional calculus. The physical training pushed her to her limits and beyond, with gravity and atmospheric conditions constantly changing to test their adaptability. But it was the cultural differences that proved most challenging. Simple misunderstandings could quickly escalate into diplomatic incidents. Zara once nearly caused a riot in the mess hall by offering a bite of her apple to a Vergonian cadet, unaware that sharing food was considered a marriage proposal in their culture. Yet for every setback, there were moments of triumph. In a tactical simulation class, Zara's out-of-the-box thinking led her team to victory against a supposedly unbeatable scenario. Her solution, inspired by an old Earth naval tactic, impressed even the skeptical Crix. Perhaps you humans have some potential after all, he grudgingly admitted. As the first term progressed, Zara found herself forming unexpected friendships. Thala's calm wisdom helped her navigate the complex social dynamics of the Academy. Even Crix, for all his initial blustering, proved to be a loyal ally when it counted. One day, during a particularly grueling physical training session in triple Earth gravity, Zara noticed a Malaxian cadet struggling to keep up. Without thinking, she fell back to offer encouragement. Come on, you've got this, she urged, supporting the gelatinous being as they wobbled towards the finish line. Later, in a recovery chamber, the Malaxian approached her. Why did you help me? We're supposed to be competing. Zara shrugged. Where I come from, we believe in leaving no one behind. Besides, isn't the point of all this to learn how to work together? Word of the incident spread quickly, earning Zara respect from both her fellow cadets and the instructors. It also caught the attention of Commander Lyric, the Academy's stern headmaster. Cadet Chen, he addressed her after class one day, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Your actions during the physical training were unexpected. Many would have seen a rival's weakness as an opportunity to get ahead. Zara stood at attention, unsure if she was being praised or reprimanded. Sir, I just did what felt right. Lyric's face contorted into what Zara had learned was a smile. And that, cadet, is precisely why your species has a place in this academy. Your instincts, while sometimes unorthodox, align well with the Empire's values. As the term neared its end, the cadets faced their greatest challenge yet, the cosmic confluence. This grueling week-long exercise pitted teams of cadets against each other in a series of complex simulations designed to test every skill they had learned. Zara found herself leading a diverse team, including Thala, Crix, and the Malaxian she had helped, whose name was Blorb. As they huddled to plan their strategy, Zara felt a surge of confidence. "All right, team," she said, her voice firm. "We've all got different strengths and weaknesses. Let's use that to our advantage. Thala, you're our strategist. Crix, you take point on the combat sims. Blorb, your species' ability to change shape will be crucial for the infiltration scenarios. And I'll handle the diplomatic challenges." As the cosmic confluence unfolded, Zara's team faced obstacle after obstacle. They navigated asteroid fields, negotiated peace treaties with hostile alien species, and even had to defuse a simulated supernova. In the final challenge, they found themselves outgunned and surrounded by an enemy fleet. The simulation parameters made victory seem impossible. "Any ideas?" Crix growled, his scales turning a nervous shade of orange. Zara's mind raced, recalling an old Earth story. "Actually, yes. Thala, can you reconfigure our shield harmonics to match the enemy's weapons frequency?" Thala's fingers flew over the controls. "Yes, but... Oh, I see what you're thinking. Brilliant." With their shields perfectly tuned, the enemy's weapons fire was absorbed and redirected, turning their own firepower against them. It was a risky strategy, one that could have backfired spectacularly, but it worked. As the simulation ended, a stunned silence fell over the command center. Then, slowly, applause began to build. Commander Lyric approached, all four of his eyes wide with astonishment. "In all my years at the Academy," he said, "I've never seen a solution quite like that. Cadet Chen, you and your team have demonstrated the true spirit of the Empire. Diverse strengths working in harmony to overcome impossible odds." As Zara and her team celebrated their victory, she felt a profound sense of belonging. The challenges were far from over. They had 3 more years at the Academy, and a lifetime of service to the Empire beyond that. But in that moment, she knew that humanity had found its place among the stars. The Imperial Starfleet Academy had taught her more than just facts and figures. It had shown her the true meaning of unity and diversity, and the incredible potential that lay in combining the strengths of different species and cultures. As she looked out at the twin moons of Luminara rising over the Academy's spires, Zara Chen, once a farm girl from Iowa, now a cadet of the Galactic Empire, smiled. The universe, in all its infinite diversity, was waiting. The retrofit. Commander Jack Harper wiped the sweat from his brow as he stared at the holographic schematics floating before him. The ISS Titan, a century-old Imperial cruiser, loomed in the massive dry dock outside the viewport. Its once sleek hull was now pitted and scarred, a testament to countless battles fought in service of the Empire. "Your task," Admiral Zorax had told him, "is to bring this old warhorse back to life. Show us what human ingenuity can do when combined with Imperial technology." It was a test, Jack knew. 15 years after joining the Empire, humanity was still proving its worth. This retrofit project was a chance to showcase their unique problem-solving skills. "All right, team," Jack addressed the diverse group of engineers gathered around him. "We've got 6 months to turn this relic into a ship worthy of the modern Imperial fleet. Ideas." Lyrax, a Volcran with a reputation for thinking in 6 dimensions, spoke first. "The power core is outdated. We could replace it with a modern antimatter reactor, but that would require rebuilding half the ship's systems." Jack nodded, his mind already racing. What if we didn't replace it? What if we augmented it instead? He manipulated the hologram, highlighting the Titan's power distribution network. "See here. We could integrate a series of human-designed fusion boosters along these conduits. It won't be as powerful as a full antimatter core, but it'll give us a significant power increase without a total overhaul." The alien engineers exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of surprise and intrigue. "Unorthodox," Grax, a silicon-based life form, rumbled. But potentially effective. The Empire's standardized approach would never have considered such a solution. As the weeks passed, Jack's team threw themselves into the retrofit with gusto. Human engineers worked alongside their alien counterparts, each bringing their unique perspectives to the challenges at hand. One day, as Jack was elbow-deep in a Jefferies tube, rewiring power couplings, he heard a commotion from the ship's bridge. He rushed to investigate, finding his lead weapons officer, Lieutenant Sofia Perez, in a heated debate with Krovac, the Titan's original weapons master. "It won't work," Krovac insisted, his tendrils writhing in agitation. "The targeting systems aren't compatible with your proposed upgrades." Sofia stood her ground. "They will be if we recalibrate the quantum targeting array using this algorithm." She pulled up a complex equation on her datapad. "It's based on an old Earth technique called fuzzy logic. It'll allow for predictive targeting even with the older systems." Jack watched with pride as understanding dawned on Krovac's face. "By the cosmic core," the alien breathed. "That's brilliant. With this, we could double our effective range and accuracy." As the retrofit progressed, word of the human team's innovative solutions spread through the Imperial shipyards. Jack found himself fielding questions from curious alien engineers, eager to learn more about humanity's approach to problem-solving. "It's not that we're smarter," he explained to a group of wide-eyed Andromedan apprentices. "We just think differently. Humans have a knack for combining old ideas in new ways, for seeing connections where others might not." The project wasn't without its challenges. Cultural misunderstandings still occurred, and some of the more conservative Imperial engineers bristled at the unorthodox methods employed by the humans. But as the Titan began to take shape, even the skeptics had to admit that the results were impressive. 4 months into the project, Admiral Zorax paid a surprise visit to inspect their progress. Jack led him on a tour of the ship, explaining the upgrades and modifications they'd implemented. "As you can see, Admiral," Jack said as they stood in the engine room, "we've managed to increase power output by 73% without replacing the core. And over here, we've..." He was interrupted by a sudden alarm. Red lights flashed as a voice boomed over the intercom. "Warning. Coolant leak detected in Section 47B. Containment failure imminent." Without hesitation, Jack sprinted towards the affected area, Admiral Zorax close behind. They arrived to find a scene of chaos. A ruptured coolant line was spewing toxic gas, and the automated systems were failing to contain it. "The emergency force fields aren't responding," an engineer shouted. "If we don't seal this breach, we'll lose the whole deck." Jack's mind raced. They needed to cut off the coolant flow and seal the breach, but the toxic gas made it impossible to get close enough. Then he remembered something from his academy days. "Sophia," he called over his comm, "remember that crazy idea you had about using modified shield generators as localized environmental bubbles? We need it now." Sophia's voice crackled back. "On it, Commander." Moments later, a shimmering field of energy enveloped Jack. He nodded to Admiral Zorax, then plunged into the toxic cloud. Working quickly, he managed to seal the breach and cut off the coolant flow. As the gas dissipated and the alarms fell silent, Jack emerged from the shield bubble to find the Admiral staring at him with an unreadable expression. "That was most impressive, Commander," Zorax said slowly. "I've never seen shield technology used in quite that way before." Jack shrugged, trying to catch his breath. "Sometimes the best solution is the one you improvise on the spot, sir." Zorax nodded thoughtfully. "Indeed. It seems I underestimated the value of human ingenuity. Your species continues to surprise us, Commander Harper." In the final weeks of the project, the Titan underwent a transformation that was nothing short of miraculous. Its hull gleamed with new armor plating, its weapon systems hummed with increased power, and its engines purred with an efficiency that belied their age. On the day of the final inspection, Jack stood proudly on the bridge alongside his team. As Admiral Zorax and a panel of Imperial engineers ran through their tests, expressions of astonishment and approval rippled through the group. "Remarkable," one of the inspectors murmured. "The power output exceeds our projections by 23%, and the weapon's accuracy is off the charts. How did you manage this with the existing systems?" Jack smiled. "We didn't just upgrade the ship, sir. We taught it to think differently. Every system on board now incorporates elements of human problem-solving and adaptability." Admiral Zorax stepped forward, his eyes gleaming. "Commander Harper, you and your team have not just restored a ship. You've revolutionized our approach to starship design. The techniques and innovations you've demonstrated here will be studied and implemented across the Imperial fleet." As the inspection concluded and the Titan prepared for its shakedown cruise, Jack felt a surge of pride. This project had been more than just a retrofit. It was a testament to humanity's place in the Empire, proof that their unique way of thinking could push the boundaries of what was possible. As he gazed out at the stars, Jack Harper knew that this was just the beginning. The fusion of human ingenuity and Imperial technology would take them further than either could have gone alone. The galaxy, vast and full of wonders, awaited their exploration. The frontier. Captain Aria Novak stood on the bridge of the ISS Harmony, her eyes fixed on the swirling anomaly that filled the view screen. After 2 decades of service in the Imperial Starfleet, she thought she'd seen it all, but the phenomenon before them defied explanation. "Report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension that filled the air. Her first officer, a towering Arcturian named Zhen, responded promptly. "The anomaly appears to be some sort of spatial rift, Captain. Energy readings are off the charts, and it's growing larger by the minute." Aria nodded, her mind racing through potential courses of action. The Harmony, with its crew of humans and aliens, had been tasked with patrolling this remote sector of the Empire's frontier. They'd expected to encounter smugglers, or perhaps the occasional uncharted asteroid field. This was something else entirely. "Lorella," she addressed the ship's Aquilian science officer, "any theories on what we're dealing with?" Lorella's fins rippled thoughtfully. "It bears some similarities to the dimensional rifts described in the historical accounts of the Void Dweller incursion, but the energy signature is different, almost alive." As if in response to Lorella's words, the anomaly pulsed, sending out a wave of energy that rocked the ship. "Shields holding at 82%, reported Tarek, the human tactical officer. "But that was just a love tap, Captain. If this thing decides to throw a real punch..." Aria made her decision. "Zhen, open a channel to Imperial Command. They need to know what we're dealing with here." But before Zhen could comply, the anomaly flared brilliantly. When the light faded, a massive ship hung in space before them. Its design was like nothing Aria had ever seen, organic yet mechanical, with surfaces that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. "By the cosmic core," Zhen breathed. "What is that?" The strange ship made no aggressive moves, but neither did it respond to their hails. As minutes ticked by, tension on the bridge mounted. "Captain," Lorella called out, her voice urgent, "I'm detecting multiple smaller craft launching from the alien vessel. They're on an intercept course." Aria's training kicked in. Red alert. Shields to maximum. "Tarek, arm weapons but hold fire unless I give the order. We don't want to start an interstellar incident if we can avoid it." The approaching craft were unlike any fighters they'd encountered before. They moved with impossible agility, seemingly unbound by the laws of physics. "They're scanning us," Lorella reported. "Wait, I'm detecting a power surge." Before Aria could react, a beam of energy lanced out from one of the alien craft, striking the Harmony. But instead of damaging the ship, it enveloped it in a shimmering field. "What's happening?" Aria demanded. Lorella's fingers flew over her console. "It's some kind of data transfer, Captain. Massive amounts of information are being downloaded into our computer core." Suddenly, the alien ships broke off their approach and returned to their mothership. The The massive vessel shimmered and, in a flash of light, vanished back into the anomaly. As quickly as it had appeared, the rift closed, leaving the starry void as empty as before. For a moment, silence reigned on the bridge. Then Area sprang into action. Damage report. No damage, Captain, Tarek reported, sounding bewildered. Shields and all systems are functioning normally. Lorella, what about this data transfer? Any idea what they sent us? The Aquilian shook her head. It's encrypted, Captain. Like nothing I've ever seen. It could take years to decipher. Area frowned. All right, let's not take any chances. Initiate containment protocols on the affected systems. Jen, get me Imperial Command. They're going to want to hear about this. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Imperial scientists and cryptographers descended on the Harmony, eager to unravel the mystery of the alien data. Area found herself in endless debriefings, recounting every detail of the encounter. It was during one such debriefing that the breakthrough came. A junior human cryptographer, fresh out of the academy, made a connection that had eluded everyone else. It's not a code, she exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. It's a language, a mathematical language that describes, well, everything. As the implications sank in, excitement rippled through the scientific community. The aliens hadn't attacked them, they'd given them a gift. A compendium of knowledge that promised to revolutionize their understanding of the universe. But with this gift came a warning. Hidden within the data was a message, finally decrypted after days of work. The void stirs. The devourers awaken. You must prepare. Area stood before the Imperial High Council, her voice steady as she delivered her report. Based on our analysis, we believe these aliens, whoever they were trying to warn us of an impending threat. The devourers they mentioned seemed to be some kind of extra-dimensional entity, similar to but far more dangerous than the void dwellers we faced in the past. Admiral Zorax, now silver-haired but still sharp as ever, leaned forward. And what do you recommend, Captain Novak? Area took a deep breath. We need to prepare, Admiral. The knowledge the aliens gave us, it's not just scientific. There are designs for weapons, shields, even drives that could revolutionize space travel. We need to implement these technologies as quickly as possible. A murmur ran through the council. One of the elder members spoke up, his voice quavering. But can we trust this information? For all we know, this could be a trap. Area shook her head. With respect, Counselor, we can't afford not to trust it. The anomaly we encountered, the capabilities of those alien ships, they were beyond anything we've ever seen. If the threat they're warning us about is even half as advanced, we need every advantage we can get. The debate raged for hours, but in the end, Area's argument won out. The Empire would embark on a massive modernization effort, incorporating the alien technologies into their fleet and defenses. As Area left the council chambers, Admiral Zorax fell into step beside her. You've set us on a challenging path, Captain Novak, but I believe it's the right one. Area nodded. Thank you, Admiral. I just hope we're ready for whatever's coming. Zorax's expression was grim but determined. We will be. Humanity's adaptability, combined with the strengths of all our member species, it's our greatest asset. Whatever these devourers are, they'll find that the Galactic Empire isn't easily conquered. As they looked out over the glittering capital city, Area felt a mix of apprehension and excitement. The frontier had come to them, bringing with it unimaginable challenges and opportunities. But as she watched ships of 100 different designs soar through the sky, each one a testament to the diversity and ingenuity of the Empire, she knew they would face this new threat as they had faced every other. Together, as one united galactic civilization. The celebration. The massive amphitheater of New Terra buzzed with excitement. Dignitaries from across the Galactic Empire had gathered for a momentous occasion. The 3000th anniversary of humanity's induction into the interstellar community. Admiral Elena Rodriguez, her hair now streaked with silver, stood at the podium. As the descendant of the legendary Captain Elena Rodriguez, who had made first contact, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. 3 millennia ago, she began, her voice carrying across the hushed crowd. Humanity looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Today, we stand as proud members of the most diverse and powerful civilization the galaxy has ever known. The holographic displays around the amphitheater came to life, showcasing key moments from humanity's journey among the stars. First contact, the Academy's founding, the Great Retrofit, the Frontier Encounter. Each image elicited murmurs of recognition and appreciation from the assembled crowd. But we are not here merely to celebrate the past, Elena continued. Today, we look to the future, a future we will forge together, combining the strengths of all our member species to face the challenges that lie ahead. She gestured grandly, and the holographic display shifted to show a massive shipyard in orbit. I am proud to present the culmination of 3,000 years of collaboration and innovation, the next generation of Imperial starships. The crowd gasped as the first ship came into view. It was unlike anything they had seen before. A seamless blend of organic curves and crystalline structures, shimmering with an inner light that hinted at unimaginable power. The ISS Unity, Elena announced proudly. A true fusion of technologies from across the Empire. Its bioneural circuitry, developed by our Aquilian colleagues, works in perfect harmony with the quantum computer core designed by human engineers. The Arcturian gravity manipulation system allows for maneuvers that would have been impossible just a century ago. As Elena described the ship's capabilities, more vessels came into view, each more fantastic than the last. There was the ISS Chimera, a shape-shifting vessel that could adapt its form for any mission. The ISS Nexus boasted an experimental drive that could fold space-time, promising to revolutionize long-distance travel. But it was the final ship that drew the loudest gasps and applause. As it glided into view, it seemed to defy description, less a solid object and more a shimmering field of energy in the rough shape of a vessel. And this, Elena said, her voice filled with awe, is the ISS Transcendence, the first ship to successfully incorporate the advanced technologies gifted to us during the Frontier Encounter. It represents not just the pinnacle of our current capabilities, but a bridge to a future we are only beginning to imagine. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause. Elena waited for the excitement to die down before continuing, her tone becoming more serious. These ships are not merely marvels of engineering. They are our answer to the warning we received 3 decades ago. The Devourers may be coming, but when they arrive, they will find a galactic empire united and prepared. She paused, looking out over the sea of faces, human and alien alike, all bound together by a shared destiny. Our strength has always been in our diversity. Each species brings unique perspectives, abilities, and ideas. Humanity's gift has been our adaptability, our ability to think outside conventional boundaries. Combined with the wisdom, technology, and cosmic understanding of our fellow Imperial citizens, there is no challenge we cannot overcome. As Elena's speech concluded, the celebration began in earnest. The skies above New Terra filled with ships of all sizes and designs, from sleek Imperial cruisers to the personal craft of 1,000 different species. They danced in intricate patterns, a living testament to the harmony and diversity of the Empire. On the ground, festivals erupted in every city. Humans sampled delicacies from across the galaxy, marveled at art forms that defied their understanding of physics, and engaged in cultural exchanges with beings they once would have thought impossible. In one corner of the main plaza, a group of young cadets, human, Aquilian, Arcturian, and a dozen other species, huddled around a holo display, excitedly discussing the new ships. "Just imagine the discoveries we'll make with the Transcendence," a human cadet said, her eyes shining. "We could explore other dimensions, maybe even find the home of those aliens who warned us." Her Arcturian friend nodded enthusiastically, his crystalline form shimmering. "And with the Chimera's adaptability, We could survive in environments we've never dreamed of exploring before. As the celebration continued into the night, Admiral Rodriguez found a quiet moment to slip away. She made her way to a secluded balcony overlooking the capital city, its spires reaching towards the star-filled sky. She was joined by an old friend, Zorax, now the venerable High Counselor of the Empire. His once vibrant blue skin had faded to a pale azure, but his eyes still sparkled with the same curiosity that had led him to welcome humanity into the galactic community 3 millennia ago. "Quite a spectacle," Zorax commented, his voice gravelly with age. "Your ancestors would be proud, Elena." Elena nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Sometimes I wonder what they would think if they could see us now. We've come so far from those first tentative steps into the galaxy." "Indeed you have," Zorax agreed. "Your species has surpassed every expectation we had. You've challenged us, inspired us, and in many ways, transformed us. The Empire is stronger for your presence." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the festivities below. Finally, Elena spoke again, her voice soft but determined. "Do you think we're ready, Zorax, for whatever's coming?" The old alien considered for a moment before answering. "Ready? Perhaps not entirely, but prepared. Yes. Whatever these devourers may be, they will find an empire unlike anything they've encountered before. We face the future not as separate species, but as a unified force. Infinite diversity in infinite combinations, as one of your human philosophers once said." Elena smiled at the reference. "Infinite diversity in infinite combinations," she repeated. "That's what these ships represent. Not just technological marvels, but the embodiment of everything we've accomplished together." As the first light of dawn began to break over the horizon, Elena and Zorax looked to the stars. The unknown threats that lurked in the darkness were still out there, waiting. But here, in this moment, they saw only possibility, the promise of new discoveries, new challenges to overcome, and new wonders to explore. The most outlandish ships ever conceived were ready to carry them into that future, and whatever it might hold, the Galactic Empire, humanity included, would face it united, their combined strength and ingenuity a beacon of hope in the vast cosmic ocean. The celebration of the past was ending, but the greatest adventure, the journey into humanity's stellar future, was just beginning.